Hi there. Thank you for joining us. I'm here with Pastor Chad, lead pastor here at Freedom Life Church, and we're following up on this week's message, part 7, I believe, of Trajectory. Looking again, kind of continuation from last week's, dealing with worship, but coming from a completely different angle, I would say. So, did you have anything that you wanted to add, or that you didn't have time to get to?
Not really. I mean, we could add a ton more kind of enemies of worship. I mean, we can talk about a lot of different things. I think we talked a little bit about like just the busyness of life in regard to the prayer aspect. I think that could certainly apply here. I actually thought about including it originally, but then I really just liked the text in John 4 and just kind of walking through that. But yeah, I mean, anything really can rob us of the focus of worship. Because if we kind of tie both sermons together and look at it as a whole, so much of the basis of worship comes out of a heart of thankfulness. It's Thanksgiving. And so sometimes when things get really busy or we're stressed or something of that sort, it kind of robs us of our gratitude really, really quickly. So we could have gone with that as well. Like I said, I really just like the fact that we just got to kind of anchor ourselves down into John 4 and then just look at those kind of three main enemies of our worship. And so, but really anybody thinking about the concept of a lifestyle of worship and what it is to praise God every day, anything can pull us away from that. But that's the reason why I think there's such a great call to focus in on it. And that's what I like about the John 4 text that says, look, God's seeking this out. God's looking for those that will worship Him and worship Him in spirit and in truth. Worship Him in a way where that's right. That's as the scriptures would say, all the glory due to His name. Worship Him in a way that's worthy of who He is, and God's really looking for that. He's looking for that in us, and so I think that's kind of that's a pretty powerful reality. I think to kind of embrace that and go, all right, I really want to focus and become the worshiper that God's looking for, and what that means is that I've got to figure out how to engage worship outside of even the corporate setting, although the corporate setting is amazing, but I need to figure out how to do that and not let things rob me of what that feels like, so yeah, we had 3 things that we looked at, but we really could replace them with 20 other things that are reality. So I didn't necessarily want to make it where it seemed like these are the only 3, not even the 3 main ones. I'm just saying these are things that I think are across the board for all of us. I think they are things that we have to deal with, but I also know that there could be somebody out in the seats going, yeah, maybe those aren't as prevalent to my life today. Like maybe today it's stress, or it's anxiety, or it's busyness, or it's whatever, that's kind of robbing me of my gratitude, which robs me of my heart for the worship and adoration of God. So, but I thought it was fun. I thought it landed heavier than I wanted it to, or that I had anticipated it landing. But I thought it was needed and good for us. So
Well, I think a lot of times that actually I had that same thought, that I was like, boy, it felt a little heavier than a lot of messages. But I think a lot of times it feels that way because it sort of has a bigger impact on us as those hearing it, and because of that, so like I said, some of the things you talked about, that, as the old saying goes, you might have stepped on some toes, but that's one of those things where, I mean, hey, that's why we're here, right? And so when people kind of hit those barriers, those enemies of worship, as you say, a lot of those things are things that aren't aren't necessarily bad things.
Yes. Yeah.
In general, but again, it's that giving them a higher priority.
Yes.
That's the problem. And so, how do you suggest people they try and balance those things in their life?
See God.
All right.
Wrap it up. No, I think to really, I think it's really the last enemy that we talked about, the idea of you worship what you don't know. Mm-hmm. So don't be ignorant about who God is. And I think that there's, A.W. Tozer wrote this in his book, Knowledge of the Holy, and I think it's a really great book. It's a short book, but it's awesome. And it's talking about the grand theme of the book to me feels like it's a lot about the lofty view of God, keeping God in his rightful place, in our minds, in our hearts, in our understanding. And one of the things that he says in that book early on, he says one of the most important things about us is what we think about when we think of God. Mm-hmm. And so, because that's going to inform everything else. And so to really keep those things in their proper place, in a proper balance in your life, I think it's less about us trying to think less of those things, because relationships are awesome. Money is good. We need that, to live. Success is great. Like you're saying, and I think I said it on Sunday, these things aren't intrinsically evil. Mm-hmm. They're not evil. The things that we talked about that were evil, not good, is the unrepentant, unconfessed sin. We did talk about that as better. But the one that you're referring to, that these other things that we go to make ourselves feel okay, mm-hmm. They're not intrinsically evil. But I think our goal is not to try to just think of those things less all the time. But I think what will solve that issue is if we just think of God more and think of what he's done more and really see the greatness and the beauty of Christ. Keep him in a lofty place in our hearts. Really understand who he is and what he's done. Mm-hmm. And that makes us go, okay, wait, he is the one that's saving me. He is the one that's bringing comfort to me. He is the one that's even providing all the other things in that list. Too. He's the one that's brought all of those things into my life. Every good and perfect gift is coming down from the Father of lights, James mm-hmm. writes, and so don't be deceived, my beloved brothers, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father, because he loves us, because he cares about us. And so he's taking care of us. And so any good that's in those is from him, and where maybe we lack, if we see him rightly, he fills up that void, right? Where if we lack a little bit in one of those areas that we talked about, he floods into those spaces and begins to fill the void. And so then our worship is maintained. Our worship is still vibrant and thriving and is not lackluster, but it still grows, and it still accelerates, and it's still exciting, and it's still all of what it should be. And so I think that would be my suggestion for anyone when we're looking at how to keep those things in balance or how to keep those things straight. I think that's really where it lands.
Yeah, that's really
for
great.
Me. So yeah.
So if you missed the message, be sure and check out the link right below this on Facebook. That'll take you to our website where the whole Trajectory series is there. All the past series are there.
Yeah.
We talked about last week. Just listen to a past message and kind of use that as some of your worship. We have got a ton of stuff coming up.
Yes, we do.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that's starting up in March. We've got FLC Women, FLC Men, Jeremiah Project, probably some other things that I'm forgetting right now, but lots of stuff. So be sure and check your calendar, mark your calendar, get involved with these things. We've got life groups still every week.
Yeah.
Freedom Kids, FLC students, something for the whole family. It's hard to be bored here. There's something all the time. We had an amazing discipleship class last night.
Yeah.
It was great. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
you didn't mention it, but you put a slide up for the next one, which is June. Is that right?
June 7th is the plan. It's a little further out than what we originally thought, but only because we were trying not to.
Yeah. But so there's
cram a bunch of stuff in.
There's more coming.
Yeah.
So if you miss this one, make sure you get to the next one because it's
Yeah.
educational if nothing else.
Yeah.
Besides whatever growth you'll get. But like I said, we've got a ton going on, and that doesn't even mention Sunday, 10:30. Come see us. So we'll be here. Chad will be here.
We'll be here.
We've got a couple weeks left of trajectory.
We've technically got one more week left, and then we're going to be diving into the book of Galatians.
Oh, excellent. So that'll be a lot of fun. So make sure that you come join us, invite somebody, and we'll see you on Sunday.
See you.